And good morning, Star Wars fans. As always, I'm Dan Tartaglione, also known as D Tartag1. Joining me today is the one and only Mr. JagTech himself, Justin Miyashiro. How are you doing, Justin?
Pretty good. Wish I was playing, but next time.
You know what? Yeah, I will say you did get it out of the second round this year.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
upset Greg Shaw in the round of 32. Is this correct?
So, yep. Slowly but surely getting better. At this rate, I will top four in like 4 years. So we're good.
Goals. That's a goal. So this morning we have the Final Four as well as the championship for the MPC. Myself and Justin will be streaming the Joe Olson versus Chris Gogolen match, while Connor Britton will be streaming the Connor and Timo Dussel will be streaming the Jared Napolitano versus Chris Werfs match. So this is going to be an exciting day today. We have three really good matches. We have the top four as well as the championship. The championship will be streamed on this and will be covered by myself and Justin Branch. So it's going to be a very good morning. So who do you like, Justin? Again, you lost to Werfs in the round of 16. So are you going to go
Uh,
with Werfs?
I mean, so Werfs is the only one whose play I saw in full over the MPC.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really hard to bet against Joe. He just
True.
seems to, I mean, over the last year and in general, from everything that I've seen of him, he seems to have just a really good sense of the meta and just knows what's going on. And I think that counts for a lot. He's also a great player, of course. Um, Werfs, I feel like if I think actually if Werfs gets gets past the top four match here, I would say he's got a really good chance. Yeah, I mean, all of them do, but
Mm-hmm.
um, to me, playing against him, what really stood out to me was that Worst knew his decks and his matchups exceptionally well.
Yeah.
So, so I would say that if he can get past the first top four match where his opponent is probably gunning for the decks that he's expecting, um, and get to play either Joe or Chris, who will have both had to prepare for each other and not necessarily for Werfs,
Mm-hmm.
then I would say Werfs has a really good shot there. Um, if I just had to like put odds on all of them, I'd probably say Joe, but I could certainly go either way. So
Yeah, and again, it is going to be Joe Olson versus Chris Gogolen, and then it's going to be Jared Napolitano versus Werfs. Uh, Joe, I know, is currently playing from Cabo, so he's on hotel Wi-Fi right now. So I don't know if that's a disadvantage or what. So we'll see.
I mean,
Uh,
it'd be much worse for one of our more notoriously slower players. Joe plays pretty quick, so
true,
I don't think
true.
that's not a big deal.
So I find this interesting. Werfs and Joe are both West Coast players, where Jared and Gogolen are from the East Coast. Will we see a all East Coast final? Will it be an all West Coast final? Joe again coming off an insane year last year with Worlds and everything. His like if you every major has been won by a Team Five member. It's either been Hayes, MHT, or Joe. I know Justin Desai won the OCS and everything, but that's not really a major. Uh, so there is that. Jared, who came off a top eight at Worlds last year, Worf seems like he's always on the cusp. So we'll see. But again, Joe coming off of Worlds, and Chris Gogolen is a Hall of Famer. Maybe not for his play, but we'll see. Like Chris did top, he got the into the top four 2 years ago when Chris Kelly won. So he
Yeah,
lost to the eventual champion.
yeah, the last
Now,
live one,
yeah, the last live one.
or the most recent live one, I should say. We're gonna have another live one. We
Yeah,
will.
yes. Now, again, Chris lost to the eventual champion. So if Joe gets past Chris, will we see Joe win? Because playing Joe is a good luck charm, or playing Gogolen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think playing Joe is a good luck charm. That usually means you're gonna lose. Like
Yeah.
that's
And Joe is the only number one seed left.
yeah. That's another
So
reason that it's hard to root against him. Although I mean, going into the field, right? I think Joe is one of the only ones that you said, oh well, Joe for sure is the number one. And then after that, you can kind of look
well, I mean,
look
Chris
through
Kelly's the
everybody
number
else.
one because he won the event 2 years ago. And it's understandable. Uh, MHT won the Texas Mini Worlds last year, so okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I'm
Uh,
not saying any of the other number ones aren't deserved. I'm just saying like Joe's certainly where the conversation started with
mm-hmm.
like it's
Oh
like, oh
yeah,
well, Joe's clearly the number one or one of the number ones, and then
yeah,
we'll figure out who the other three are.
yeah. And like I said, all number one seeds were taken out in the top 8, and now I will say, Joe was the only person in the top 8 who didn't face a number 2 or a number 3 seed. So, but it looks like Joe has his game up. Joe's going to go with Dark. So let's switch over to the lobby. Worfs and Jared are already playing, and it looks like Jared has a nice little lead of 4 cards already. But here we go: Joe Olson versus Chris Gogolen for the finals. We got the good hand. We got the good luck. Have fun. No reverts. So, okay, here we go. We have a classic Star Wars CCG match: Throne Room versus ISB.
Interesting that's what Joe went with, because I was gonna say it's interesting to watch because Joe, I believe, was the only map pilot to make it this far.
Yeah, maybe
I
he didn't.
think he was.
Well, if you're playing Chris Gogolen, I would put Chris on Throne Room. So I'm not sure if this is a smart move by Joe or what, but he went back to a deck that a lot of people thought was dead, and so he's not going with the slip sliding away version. He's going with the Coruscant start. So uh, we already saw Chris go out and use his Wisa to grab a card. He grabbed the Boss Nash Chamber, so not a bad start from Chris. Joe went used Death Squadron assignment to go get the Vengeance. So, and interesting enough, Chris is not starting Walkling. Walkling is currently banned from Throne Room. Like, you can't play it.
I mean, it literally says on the card, unless Masasi thrown him on table, the play table.
Yeah.
So
But he
that's
is going with the
as banned as can be.
He is going with the I must be allowed to speak start. So he's playing the farm. So
Yeah, if you're starting, I must be allowed to speak against ISB, then it must mean you have the farm. I mean, so uh, I feel like the speak start is pretty important to do, particularly in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually guess. You can actually I would say you can guess pretty well that the only Tatooine battleground that's likely to be in play here is the farm. I guess it's possible that Joe could have like a spaceport docking bay,
Mm-hmm.
which would be pretty sweet, a pretty sweet piece of tech. But and it's also why like Joe starting the Coruscant instead of the slip sliding away to deny another battleground, because like the more battlegrounds that you get to TRM, the worse it's going to be for an ISB deck. So
Yeah. Okay, Chris already got he got a home one docking bay and he got the farm out, so pretty good start from Chris.
yeah, Lux, that's the special edition Coruscant. Typically, I don't usually see ISB start the virtual 2
Yeah.
Coruscant, because they just usually don't even care about occupying the Coruscant system. They don't want to have to defend it because if light side goes there, it'll automatically be a battleground. So
Yeah, and with this one, it is a drain -1 for the light side player. So
yeah.
it's not. It's a good system to start in this aspect. So go Joe getting out his docking bay as well. So right now, this deck screams to me that Joe is playing our Lord and Savior 5d6.
Maybe.
If you're playing a space version, which looks like he might be, I think he's playing the 5d6 because established control allows you to go get Korlog or Fondor. So that's one way of pulling a system.
Sure.
But we'll see.
I mean,
Okay.
so I would say that based on what I heard Joe talk about with regarding ISB after the errata to the Mustafar system that made it so you can't pull the castle with it anymore. This looks like a pretty typical effect start for like a general version of ISB. I don't see anything in here
Mm-hmm.
that would suggest to me yet that it's a space versus ground focus. Because like typically, like they used to run the quad drive yards V in order to pull Mustafar and then another system.
Well, I'm saying what
Um,
the reason I'm saying what this is, he's got the pull chain of Piet to Majeric to systems,
sure,
and
sure,
there's Piet going down to the docking bay, pulling a
I'm
commander.
sure. I mean,
There's Majeric.
if you're expecting, I mean, if you're expecting your opponent to be on TRM and that's why you chose ISB, then it would make sense to play a space ISB anyway. So
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there we go. Majeric right away. There's Fondor. Fondor equals the Executor coming down for -5. And you just load up on like Shiranu and you just drain with a bunch of your stuff. And then you ploy 5d6 to Tatooine, because that's going to be the only, I'm going to guess that's the only battleground site that Chris is going to play. So, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past a TRM to have battle plans also.
Yeah. Now, I will say this though: if this is the case, that this is what Joe is playing, this is going to be a slow, long day. I'm just saying.
Yeah, certainly his turn one setup was good.
I mean, both players turn one got a lot of their activation. Chris activating 8, Joe activating 9 at this point. We don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. They were able to change decks going into this, so no idea. He could have anything. He could be playing Space TRM and just completely throwing us off.
Yeah, he could even have a boat.
Space TRM would be an ambitious start with Saitor, but you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Checking up on our other game right now, it looks like Jared's playing Prophet and Werfs is playing CCT. So that's an interesting match, and that's one I can think about can go either way.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris had a good handle on how to play against Prophet when I played him in the whatever round we played, top 16. At the same time, I do think like if I was going into OCS with that matchup, I could definitely see it. Like I could definitely see being on either side of that matchup. Either side of that can certainly win it.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough in match play because I was down 18 or 19, and Prophet winning that matchup by that much usually requires Darkseid to make a mistake. So
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Chris is going to go to the farm with Rey. He gets Anakin's lightsaber onto her. This is the episode, the VSET 4 Rey.
OG Ray.
OG Rey. Thank you, CRG. Yeah, the multi twitch is actually on the scroll, and it just went by.
I mean, TRM does have a couple of possible options for space packages. So, like, Tanev Fly Casual is pretty typical. That would be like the default.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think that Joe had an interesting one in his TIG for the regular rounds of the MPC, where he was running 2 copies of Hunching the Falcon and All Wings Report In combo, just as a higher Destiny, Dark Later spin.
Yeah, that
To
makes
try
sense.
to try to get through. Mostly it was to get through command and the text on the Jakku system that would limit your destinies, so he could put Leia with blaster rifle and bust through like the finalizer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we go. Joe gets out the indoor docking bay, and he's got Kashyyyk out. He's got Majeric and Ozzel at the docking bay, joining up Piet. Decree from hand. So I think if he does face Jared again, Jared is playing Prophet. That's going to be a good card against Jared. So Again, both players are off to a pretty solid start.
Already getting into the sequel movie discourse.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, let's just not. Okay, Joe. That's all Joe's going to do during his deploy phase, so it looks like he is searching for some cards here. Chris using Ray's game text. Broken Ray.
I mean, searching for cards or saving up force. I mean, one of the things, right, with this, with the ISB deck in general, is that their way to go to space is Star Destroyers. So
True, and we know he's got the Vengeance in his hand. So,
yeah,
but
and
again, I'm saying he could be looking for like a Death Squadron assignments. He could be looking for the Executor right now to move those 3 characters onto the Executor, start draining for open space.
sure. I mean, I think the other thing too is in order to deploy on the ground with ISB, you really against TRM have to go down with a stack. You have to almost over deploy to your battleground location, because if they take you out, it's real bad.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You get to Joe's going to get to the 7th side of his objective, play 5d6. It's going to be -1 there, and he's only going to be draining, and Chris is only going to be draining for 1 or 2. Okay, let's see. Oh, there goes a Vader Emperor's Enforcement off the top of the reserve deck, as well as a Corporal Vandalay. Joe deciding to lose from his reserve deck instead of his 12-card hand there. So he can get Vandalay back, but the Emperor, or the Vader, is stuck in the lost pile.
That's a big help, actually, to Chris, because Vader can throw a lot of wrenches into your plans on the ground.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the utility characters that you might use to crunch through ISB just don't work because they have Vader.
Yeah, that gets rid of Lando. That gets rid of Hera. That's pretty much it, though. Those are like the 2 big ones.
TRM's definitely gonna have definitely gonna have a Dinjarin, I would assume. Yeah, well, they could be playing a Chewie with Bowcaster.
I honestly think that I can see Chris
solo.
But I was gonna say, like, I see Chris playing Han Chewie the Falcon more than anything. Okay, there's a Weapon Levitation. Interesting card.
I mean, the other one is that TRM can play a couple of different spy options, and like Cassian Andor is pretty solid.
True.
Saw Gerrera is actually like kind of good against the ISB stack too. There's a number of possibilities.
And that's a good one too. Yeah. Okay, there's a Wisa to go get the battle planes or a boss Last Chamber. So no card in there for Chris. So Joe gets a verify.
That's curious. Because Chris had the option of pulling with the Insurrection there to get his verify, so
he just wanted to put it back.
Yeah, he must.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, that's it would suggest to me that he is actually looking for the Boss Nass Chamber.
Well, no, it's already out.
Or not the Boss Nass Chamber, for the battle plans.
And that could be true, but I think it's more.
I mean, if he wants to put it back, you may as well just wait. You may as well just wait, right? I guess. Okay, so he did also verify the use pile with weapon left, so maybe he just wants to shuffle those back in, yeah. or not shuffle them in. I guess maybe I don't know.
Okay, and we see Joe. He took an Image of the Dark Lord out of his reserve deck with his Masterful Move combo. So again, everything is telling me this is a space version that he's going to just try and out drain Chris.
Just wanted to stay at 12 after he drew. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's another good point. Yeah.
Weapon left certainly not doing anything.
No. Boss Nash Chamber's not, or Wisa's not really doing anything either. Okay, yeah. There we go. We got the Vengeance going down to Kashyyyk. Again, Joe is on his 0 side right now. He's only got 2 ISB agents on the table. Callus going down. That's gonna add another one to him. Now he needs to get a Colonel
Wolfield Laren, yeah.
Yularen out.
Were there any ISB decks played in the day 1/2 portion of the MPC?
I really don't think so. You know, let me check. Image of the Dark Lord going down to the farm, so that's going to be a drain of 1 now. There were 2 ISB decks played.
Okay.
And there is Officer Evax going down. That's going to flip Joe. Joe has no force save, though. And there is the new Imperial Justice V. It's coarse, it's rough, and it's irritating.
It's a very appropriate card for ISB. It certainly is coarse, rough, and irritating.
Sounds like you have a little bit of issues with ISB.
I mean, I did find it funny that in the chat, Gogolen was commenting that Joe seemed to have a good connection, and Joe was saying, "Well, you can't play a slow deck that might time out." And I'm like, "Well, then someone steered you wrong with your deck choice, my man." So I don't know.
The effect on the farm is Image of the Dark Lord V. So that way, that drain is now a drain of 1 for Chris. Joe is threatening a drain of 2 up at Kashyyyk. Yep, Image V.
I mean, Chris can very easily add a Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah, he could throw down another dude with a lightsaber, but yeah.
Causing damage wherever he can here.
Okay, he is going to drain for 1. Now, Joe can just start losing ISB agents from his hand, but he's going to lose Surface Defense V first.
Verifying with the Insurrection would certainly suggest he's wanting to play some sort of weapon here.
Yeah, I could see it. Now, again, if you're Joe right now, you're looking for 5d6. You're also looking for imbalance combo. The imbalance combo to cancel Sorry About the Mess combo. Yeah, this is a matchup I'm actually familiar with a lot. ISB is one of my go-to decks. So, seeing Joe play it in the finals kind of brings some warmth to my heart. Okay, checking up on our other match right now. Oh, wow. Okay, this is kind of fun. Jared. Okay, so there's the battle planes. Good call. Jared currently has Luke, Rebel Scout, with his lightsaber at the Cloud City Carbonite Chamber. He's got Leia and Rose as well. Worse is pretty stacked up at the Audience Chamber. But here's the important and the interesting thing. Worse has Jabba Space Cruiser, piloted by Hondo Anaka at Now Hutta. Jared has a Y-Wing attached to the Jabba Space Cruiser with landing claw. Just a lone Y-Wing.
Like non-unique Y-Wing, generic Y-Wing?
Non-unique premier Y-Wing.
Amazing. That's amazing. That's the one he picked, huh? I wonder why that's why that's one. I guess it's cheap.
It's cheap. And who really has any protection from Y-Wings or from landing claw? So,
yeah, I mean CCT could very likely run like a Git combo. But other than that, they're not really going to have anything to stop landing claw. And if you can maneuver them into a position where they have to spend their Git combo, then that seems pretty good. I mean, stacking up at the Carbonite chamber and just like giving up on rescuing Han is a pretty reasonable
Yeah,
option.
and that's how I think this Prophet deck would beat a CCT. Okay, here we go. Joe drains for 2 at Kashyyyk. Chris loses Jedi Concentration and Wisa from his hand. Okay, Chris is threatening a drain of 3 next turn. 1 at the farm and 2 at the battle planes.
Chris played the Luke, but did not play a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's a good card. But we do see that Joe has the Endor docking bay on the table. He's also got Fondor, so he has ways of getting around that. That's a good point, Phil. Yeah, Chris could anticipate Luke dying.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a blockade flagship docking bay. So Joe has a plethora of docking bays on the table.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the way that ISB is likely to play this game is they just like kind of want there to be no battles at all. Like,
yeah, Kier Kano's coming down to the docking bay, so there that gets Joe around the simple or the. Oh, that's not the simple tricks analysis. That's the Republic no longer functions. So
yeah, I wonder why. So
maybe that was a misclick and he doesn't realize it.
I mean, stopping your opponent from lost monarching, or no, it doesn't actually stop you from lost monarching them.
Here we go. That's an imp decree from Joe. Whenever you control any 2 rebel base locations or any 1 planet site in 2 systems, all your opponent's force drains are canceled. So, I mean, the Kier Kanos doesn't, or the blockade flagship doesn't count as that because it's not a planet site.
Yeah.
So he would have to control the docking bay. Okay, the Emperor's on his shuttle right now, joining the party at Kashyyyk.
I mean, it's not that hard for ISB to control any 1 planet site here. Because like even controlling like the Hoth docking bay would work. Like the Endor docking bay is the most likely one because it's a battleground, but like they can control any planet site and it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Joe throws down Tarkin and draws a few cards. And yeah, I'm expecting Piet, Majeric, and also, yep, they all join up Kier and Tarkin at the docking bay. So now Joe occupies a system and a site for battle order. And he could theoretically retrieve one here with his objective. Okay, so now Joe is actually threatening a higher drain than Chris. Joe is threatening a drain of 2 and 2 next turn, while Chris is threatening a drain of 1 and 2.
Yes, I mean, especially if you put Gogolen on TRM, ISB is a great choice because ISB is excellent against TRM.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Now, I guess the only caveat there is that some of the anti-map tech cards that you might play are like with See You Around Kid is excellent against ISB.
Yeah, it gets around Tarkin.
Yeah. But a lot of them aren't, so why to put a decree this turn if you're not going to put into effect?
That's a good question, Lenny. It is not immune to alter.
He probably played it because he played Tarkin this turn, so he just wanted to draw more cards.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, now, again, if Chris wants to drain at both locations, there goes a Monarch and Gideon, both from Joe's deck. So, again, if Chris is going to drain for At both these locations, he's going to have 11 fours to work with, so he's still got a lot he can do this turn. Okay, Joe loses Masterful Move combo from his hand at the second drain, so he's only got 2 ISB agents in his lost pile right now. Again, one of them is Vandalay, the other one is Moff Gideon.
I'm trying to think if it's reasonable to go to space now.
I mean,
So
Fondor's open.
So Gogolen like almost certainly has a stalker, right?
Yeah.
But thinking in terms of all right, Jyn Erso. We'll see how long she stays alive. But
I was going to say Never Yarnall.
yeah.
Okay, there's Luke's lightsaber.
That seems fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
With only 6 cards in hand and Targon already deployed and Callus already deployed, you're probably less worried about some kind of beatdown on Luke here.
Yeah, and Vader's in the lost pile.
Vader's in the lost pile. So I mean, like, it's a stormtrooper beatdown would be what could happen with one of the patrols on.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, you grab command. Yeah, that makes sense. Cherno, yeah.
He still has a pull with the Endor shield, I believe.
Does he? He pulled Ozzel, certainly.
Oh, no. Okay, so that... I don't know, because I know I saw him pull Piet with it. I didn't see the Ozzel.
If he pulled Piet with it also, then no, he's used both of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he had Ozzel in his opening hand.
No, I saw him pull Ozzel.
Okay. Okay. I trust you. Okay, here we go. Again, so Chris, not fearing the Monarch that is now in the lost pile, draws up to 14. Have a drain of 2. There goes the Speak with the Jedi Council from Chris's hand. Chris and Awisa. Yeah, if Joe had the Never Yarnall there, Jyn would. He's got Isard as well. He does into the deck though. He did show the Isard when he threw down Callus. He took the Emperor's Shuttle though, so Isard is still probably in the deck. Now Joe is putting a lot of cards on the table right now.
Yeah, match play concern certainly. Moving evacs to the shuttle. Okay.
Well, he's going to move the shuttle over to Fondor.
Right. But it means we're not going to have.
So here's
it means the Callus isn't going to be on.
Yeah.
Isn't going to be active on benches.
So here's my question: why didn't he just instead of docking? I don't think the Star Destroyer can hold it. That's why. Okay, answer my question. Yeah, Star Destroyer can't hold it. Oops.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jyn doesn't accomplish much.
Yeah, I forgot, Phil. It just seems like a Star Destroyer like that should be able to hold the Emperor's Shuttle. Yeah, it looks like both games are going down to a drain race at this point.
Yeah, I mean, CCC Profit is going to be a drain race unless somebody makes a mistake. So.
Yeah. Now, do you think that Chris is going to break Jyn's cover here?
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Because you can't move her to the other docking bay unless it's Joe's turn. So.
Yeah, unless you're going to save 8 force to docking bay transit her over and then have Joe run away for free again.
Yeah. Joe drawing up into a big hand. Again, like I said, I mean, Joe's putting a lot of cards on the table. He's only got 13 in his life force. Chrissy, on the other hand, has 27. So.
Chris doesn't have his JCC out yet, and he did lose his Speak.
Yeah, he lost it from the hand. Okay, here we go. Drain of 2 at And Joe does not have resistance out, so that is going to be drain of 3.
But he has decree satisfied now.
No, decree doesn't. One. Okay, 2 systems in 1 planet. Okay, you're right. Good call.
Mostly it means that Gogolen shouldn't be draining at
No.
the farm. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
Joe
sure.
loses Tarkin and an imp command. There's the speak. And there's the JCC. I don't know. I don't like deploying the JCC there. It's another card in your deck.
Yeah, I mean, if he's expecting to have to pay to drain for most of the game, then the extra force I think probably is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Joe only has 13 in life force now, so
Exactly.
actually getting your drains is pretty good. I guess so. Okay. You can actually like pull Yoda and warp Yoda to the flagship because it's an episode 1 battleground.
Oh, the flagship's up. Yeah.
That's like fine.
Yeah, you can go there. You can go the battle planes. You can go to the farm.
What'll it take to crack the stack at the Andor docking bay? It's like a Leia's gun.
Yeah, Joe doesn't have the Nagok Warbeast on the table, so yeah, Leia's gun would be good with
It had
multiple
to,
destinies.
yeah, it had to be like Leia's gun with geez, what am I? What would it even look like? So it'd be like
Leia's gun. Sorry about the mess with another lightsaber.
well, so it could he afford that? 713. So it could be like EPP Obi-Wan, EPP Han, and like Princess Leia with lightsaber or with her gun, and like a reflection or not reflection. Leia with Leia Alderaan. Because then you can cancel Tarkin, shoot 3 guys. But it like almost requires something like that to be able to crack through that stack. Because like if you only have like 1 lightsaber here or something, like then he just cancels your battle destiny. You kill 2 dudes, and then he just like comes back over the top. I mean, I guess you can set up for more turns or for more. She's the only person who plays Leia Alderaan conversation. Look, Leia Alderaan is real good against. It's actually real good against Matt because you can cancel Pride's text. You know, that's not nothing.
No, that's. I mean, you can cancel PV's text too. No, the only person who plays Leia of Alderaan is Chris Kelly. Chris Kelly's currently playing a Coruscant League, so.
My teammates tell me that I play Leia Alderaan maybe too much, which is not an unfair critique.
Well, who are your teammates?
Matt Sprinless, the one who's saying it in the chat, is saying that I play Leia.
How do I
So
get to be
Joe's.
part of this team?
So Chris is just drawing now.
That's all he has to do. He's out. I mean, he's not out damaging Joe, but the problem is, I mean, like I said, Joe has 13 cards in his life or 14 cards in his life force now.
I mean, Chris isn't going to win that way though, because he can, as you said, he can just like lose an ISB agent here and there. So then Chris is only effectively doing 1 damage to him, while
that's true.
Joe is doing looks like 6 back.
Yeah, he's doing 6 to Chris right now.
Yeah, Chris can't win that way. He has to change. He didn't break Jin's. Why didn't he break Jin's cover?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess if he's not planning on paying 1 to drain there, then it doesn't really matter, right? So,
Yeah.
or paying to drain there. Then she's a target. Sure, but like the way that Chris is gonna win this game is a beatdown. Like, and Tarkin's already committed. So if Joe attacks unless it's literally with all troopers and a trooper assault, he's going to lose somebody. And then presenting a target that you can beat down, especially since he now has. Or actually, wait, did he get the Hujix? Because he played the escape pod combo. Oh no, he played it to sort of cycle it. But that could mean he just has the Hujix in hand already. So
I mean, Chris does have an 18 card hand, so
yeah,
I mean that's pretty good.
I feel like presenting a tempting beatdown target is actually like probably one of the ways that he can win this game.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I don't see any reason why Joe should attack either of the lightsaber wielding people.
Oh no. Come on, like I said, 5d6.
I'm not convinced that he's not an entanglements build yet, or not entanglements, enforcement.
Okay, Chris is losing cards from his hand. He's lost Ray. He's lost Luke. He's lost Speak, and he's lost the Clash. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree that he probably shouldn't. He probably doesn't want to pay 3 to drain for 1 at the docking bay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess actually, so that sequencing would actually suggest that he doesn't have the Hujix. Because if he did, then I think actually presenting the target with Jin is good.
I think I can handle myself. Currently a dead card. Captain Cassian Andor. There's a good. Yeah, that's a.
Would have been a good one.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what.
I was gonna say I'm wondering why Joe saved 1 card in his reserve deck. As that could signify he's coming down to battle, but at the same time, why? You're out damaging. I mean, I know the game is called Star Wars, not Star sit around and ping your opponent, but Joe is out damaging Chris. Joe has retrieval. Why not just reinforce on the ground a little bit and just hopefully draw into like a barrier or something?
Yeah. What could he save? Yeah. It's probably to track the 5, because the only other things that he could really want the 1 Destiny for is like a Never Yarnall or a Lana combo, but I don't really see why he would Lana combo here.
Mm-hmm.
And then like killing Jin is kind of whatever. You don't really care about that. So yeah, saving the 5 in case there's a battle back on Chris's turn probably is.
And the other thing is he's got 13 force in his force pile. I mean, he's got to get more cards into his reserve deck.
He's on to the JCC.
Okay, this I like. I mean, Chris is going to have a lot to work with. Interesting. I don't know if I like this.
Both of them might just be content with a 10-point loss. Yeah, that's not crazy. Yeah. Because Mara moves for free because Luke's on the table. Rather unthematic that she moves for free moving away from him. That's not why, right? But
oh, silly Joe. Now here's the question: if you're Chris, do you go down against Isard or Mara?
I mean, I would imagine both.
Yeah. No, that was a smart turn by Joe. It helps that, I mean, not knowing what they have in their hand kind of hurts us because we can't say.
Well, obviously, yeah, but I think
I'm assuming Joe has like a barrier or a Gick or something, because Chris has like Obi-Wan left. He's got Qui-Gon left.
He has everybody except for Cassian and the 3 deployed characters. I don't think he's lost like any characters yet.
He's lost Luke and he's lost Rey.
Right. So except for the characters that are already deployed, I don't think there's like Saved 1 force. So I guess like a draw their fire could be kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Saved 4 force. So 4 force.
Tells me one swing.
It would be a lightsaber swing and a destiny, and then another destiny.
Yeah.
And then
So
Chris
lightsaber swing, yeah, and he's gonna come down and battle Mara and Isard.
Seems like a good spot to spend Qui-Gon, actually.
Or Obi-Wan.
Well, I like spending Qui-Gon because Qui-Gon's expensive and doesn't accomplish anything else.
True.
And you still have enough force that you can deploy Qui-Gon and do other things right now. The extra 2 to deploy Qui-Gon versus everyone is. Oh.
Chris did not like his destiny, so he just activates everything.
All right then. Well, that's boring. Fight like men.
Fight like
I don't know what Chris can do here. Like he just like has to keep draining at the battle planes just to keep reducing the diff. I mean, I guess he just like has to deploy characters here to block the drains. He could just draw up at 20. Yes, he could do that.
Oh.
Surprise assault and some tracking. Sure. I mean,
here we go. Solo going down to the indoor docking bay.
Okay. Man, he must have really not liked those destinies.
Yeah,
this very is bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Joe has a lot of forfeit. Leia Rebel Princess. I mean, that's pretty good. And the gun. Wow. How does he not? How do you not save your destiny? So, okay, Corn Horn against Isard. Yeah. Now you're allowing Joe. Okay, I mean, Joe could run back to Jin, but.
Right, but that's bad. Like.
Not if he's got to wait. I mean, Isard's over at the JCC, so. And I think if you're Joe, you throw somebody down to the JCC, battle into Corn Horn, lose the other guy.
Running Luke in to block Mara. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, because now Chris isn't doing any damage next turn.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that Joe is in fact going to actually hang on. Does decree say control? Okay, so
you have to control it. So let's see. Joe's getting 1 destiny. Chris is getting 2 right now. Plus he's going to have Chewie.
And Leia.
And Leia's gone. Oof.
I mean, Tarkin can cancel the Leia shot, but then.
Well, if you're Joe, if you have I can't shake him.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he did play his I can't shake. Like his I can't shake him is the top card
He's probably got more than 1.
Yeah. But look, we know one of them was the top card of reserve there.
Yeah.
So we know that's buried.
Okay, Joe is saving 2 force here, or 2 cards in his reserve deck. Again, he is doing 2 points of damage up in space, or 4 points of damage up in space to Chris.
Well, killing Corrin doesn't change anything for the. Oh, it's to control any planet site. It's not just. It's not just a battleground. Okay. All right. So. Sure.
Killing Corn Horn helps.
Yeah, killing Corn Horn.
And then you move Mara back over to the battle planes. Okay, there goes Quite a Mercenary V and Weapon Levitation for Chris. Dragon 2 at Fondor.
So if he has space, it's got to be a. If he has space, it's got to be a tandem now, right? Blizzard 2.
Okay. Bringing down General Veers. I love it.
Yeah, at the trample. Trampling Chewy is pretty bad here.
Well, pretty bad for Chris.
Yeah,
Pretty
bad.
Joe. Yeah.
No perimeter scan.
No. And now Joe can just throw all those guys onto the Blizzard 2 and not worry.
Oh, we got the C around kid.
That's fine. Joe's not going to do. He's going to put all those guys onto the Blizzard 2. There's no reason to battle here.
And then Joe just has to have. There's no way that Joe doesn't have an imbalanced combo here.
For what?
If he puts all the guys onto the Blizzard 2 and then Leia control or Leia can. Sorry about the best only targets characters actually, doesn't it? Okay.
And okay, it's gonna. It would. Come on, Leia gonna shoot the Blizzard 2 with defense value 8.
No, that's what it says. Like if he has a sorry about the mess combo adds 3 to the shot.
Yeah.
So then you have to draw 5. Deck's full of 5s.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's a good point.
No, you're right. You can't shoot in control, but this would be like if you stacked everybody on Blizzard 2, you have to have an imbalanced combo.
Yeah, you have to have the balance combo, and oh wait, Cure Canos is there. Once per game, cancel. Yeah.
Cure Canos only works while present at a site. So if they all get into Blizzard 2, he's no longer present.
Right.
So you can't use Cure Canos. I mean, you could leave Cure Canos outside and then one Imperial outside, but then I kind of feel like you may as well just leave them all and just battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Chris is not doing any damage to Joe on his next turn.
Everybody he's getting in. So getting in with Tarkin and the 2 ISB agents certainly makes sense. And then actually leaving Cure Canos and Piet outside so that Cure Canos is still on also makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because then Tarkin's present with 2 ISB agents and protected in the Walker, and then you can Cure Canos. So that all seems fine.
There is a reason why Joe is the reigning world champ.
Yeah.
Okay, just so everybody knows, I'm going to be stepping out here in about 9 minutes or so. I have a personal matter going on regarding a house and everything, so Justin will be here by himself. Just so nobody worries about the fact that I'm just gone for. Well, I mean, the nice thing is Joe is hovering right around 13 life force, so while Chris is currently losing stuff.
Joe's playing a slow deck fairly fast, so that's good for him.
Oh, agreed. Maybe he doesn't want to have to lose connection with his hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, Joe could easily just take another card off of sand. Okay, it looks like we had a revert. Chris doing math and everything in his head. Okay, so I'm going to step out. I'll see you guys here in a few.
Yeah, looks like Gogolen just activated too much with his activation on his turn, which is why we're doing the revert. Leaving 2 back. Could be a battle. And then a verification to see the destinies. Gogolen tells us it's a 4 and a 4. Two destinies certainly says no, like Obi-Wan or something. Most reasonable thing would be just like add more power and battle at the end or docking bay, but that like doesn't seem great. I guess he could kill Piet and have another see you around kid. I actually wonder if Chris made a mistake here with the see you around kid and should have held it until battle. Oh no, because it can be canceled by Kirkanos then. No, that's bad. Breakstone is covered now. To threaten damage? Sure. So there's the Tantive. With Poe Dameron. Okay. And Bail Organa. Well, that's too many destinies. That's okay. The other guy on the shuttle is Officer Evax. Alright, well, we're not fighting then. Because you don't have enough destinies now for that. Oh, right, yeah, you can fight there. Yeah, that's fine. You definitely want to fight there. So Joe verifies with Emperor Palpatine. To shuffle it up. I don't think he has anything tracked at this point. Actually, I kind of feel like that I can't shake him might have been on top, but I suck at tracking, so I don't know. Doesn't have force left for Leia's gun. Yeah, I mean through and I can't shake him. Yeah, he wouldn't. And the close call. Ooh. One Luke moves. Yeah. Yeah, because Luke's certainly gonna move. No, that's correct. Kind of feel like if Chris had mapped this out exactly, he probably should have. Well, I guess drawing one more would have been just as bad because then the close call just redraws the destiny. Yeah, that close call is just fairly ruinous no matter what. So. Yeah, this is not looking real good. I think Gogolen just has to be leaning on the Hujix here to protect Han and Leia at the Endor docking bay because it's not really going to be able to do too much else here. Ultimatum, huh? Is this a drain of 3? No? Okay. Oh, that's a drain of 3, though, the JCC is, so. Sure. It was a brutal close call, Lenny, but I mean, I don't know. Kind of feel like most close calls are pretty brutal, so. Although the thing that I always think about now with close call was when there was that game going on the forums. They're asking if you could change if you change one word on a card, like what's the best / worst / funniest card you can make. And I liked what my brother came up with for close call non-V, which I believe says you each reveal the top something with losing the top card of reserve used in force. And he's like, well, what if you replace card with half? So you lose the top half of your reserve used in force. Like, oh, well, that's a really good card. Anyway. Because close call is not good enough is the problem, right? We need more things that close call is good with. So we're going to drain for 4. And I don't think that there's much reason for Joe to go below 13 now in his life force. He may be able to go above it, but I don't really see much reason to draw more cards or go higher here. We know bottom card's Moff Gideon. I don't think we know what that top card of reserve is. Joe verifies again with Palpatine to find out. Lizard 4. Pull the Gideon. Beat down on Luke. All right. Or just secure the site. Like maybe it doesn't even need to beat down on Luke. Maybe you can just hold the site down. ISB just spreading now. Yeah, Mara moves back over. Because Gideon is forfeit 6, I believe. So that'll cover pretty much anything that Chris can do battle-wise at that site. Joe actually would probably really like him to battle so he can take a card off of the sand effect. Yeah, and then this battle is completely safe because you're just going to cancel his destiny anyways. So you just get to get a Death Squadron assignment back for free. I don't think you can really expect there to be more than one or two more battles after this. So using the course rough and irritating here is probably fine. I guess then you'd lose a card. So, oh, wasn't the ideal destiny, but you know. But it was good enough. So down by 10 here. Can Chris afford to peel 3? I don't know. I don't know if you can afford to peel 3. You might just have to, yeah. And the battle next turn is just going to be a disaster if Chris even wants to try it because he knows he's got a 1 down there. I guess he's trying to block damage is why he did it this way. I was thinking, I wonder if like the Tanif should have gone to Coruscant, but um, yeah, that's just like a drain of 1, so that probably doesn't accomplish very much. Ooh, all right. So the Blizzard 2 docking bay transits over to stand up against Jin, where she's basically trapped. Plus 8 force, yeah. So what is this overlay? What you're seeing on the stream now is, I believe, called the Epic Duel client. It's a client that somebody, oh, I believe it was Eric Lands, put together to kind of give us a reskin of GIMP. The old client's still available. That's actually what I'm watching on now. I don't really know why I'm choosing to watch it on that, but that's what I've done. But the new one is sort of emulating like a Magic Arena, so it's kind of a more dynamic look. Everything is like a little sharper. Well, yeah, everything's a little sharper, a little bigger, kind of easier to get a sense of things. It's a little weird looking at it if you are used to the old GEM client because it does look a little different. But I like it. Mostly, I just need to play more on it and get used to it because, yeah, it certainly looks better for streaming. The biggest thing for me that keeps throwing me off with it is that the auto pass happens no matter where your mouse cursor is. So I like played a game where I just like auto passed through like 5 actions that were relevant because I set my auto pass. I think I set my auto pass too low. Is actually I can't think the big thing. Okay, so we're down to 12. We're down to like exactly tied in life force in hand, but Gogolen is very, very far behind on board. So we're Jedi levitation to pick up a card or character. Solo probably. Solo's a good one. I guess Leia's fine. True doesn't really. Oh, Yoda, of course. Yeah, Yoda's a good one. And then Yoda can, yeah, clear Isan, back up Jin. You can't do this battle though, because you're only drawing a 1 for Destiny unless he shuffled somehow. He didn't. Yeah, no, Chris, this battle's not good. Like, with a first strike, maybe I'm with you, but he just takes the Death Squadron assignments in to hand, plays it to shuffle if he wants to. Even he doesn't even need to, I don't think, because he moved a bunch of. Or actually, everything he moved was free, right? Yeah. So there should still be the Tarkin on top. Free? No. Well, okay. Obviously, it wasn't the Tarkin on top. Why wasn't it the Tarkin on top? Oh, he paid 1 to retrieve? No, I don't know. Oh, he moved to the Vengeance. That's what the Force was. Card counting is hard, yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel like Joe was supposed to desk quadrant assignments there to shuffle up, but it doesn't matter a lot. Joe didn't realize that Yoda could relocate to the blockade flagship docking bay. Oh yeah, he could have also moved to the battle planes, as Joe points out. He could have moved to the battle planes to hold that, and then Luke moves in, and then you trap them both. Yeah, it's also reasonable. Chris kind of doing whatever he can here to just like limit diff at this point, because there's no real way that he can actually win this game. I guess the only kind of weird thing here is that Endor docking bay is only a drain of 1 because Joe did not have an extra ISB agent that he could put over there. But that's kind of whatever. You know, it's still going to be... Yeah, it's MPC formats. He's working for diff. He's trying to limit... Gogolen's trying to limit the diff as much as possible. Otherwise, I kind of feel like he probably would have conceded by now. Because he's facing down drain of, looks like 8 to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, or 7. Nope, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Gogolen's just trying to avoid getting overflowed super hard at the blockade flagship document. That's not a real good sign. Yeah, and there's the desk quadrant assignments to put a card back. Joe's currently 13 to 12, 4 in hand to 3 in hand, and lost by a huge split. So let's see, we're doing 7 damage here, and then battling, and then just moving like the Vengeance over in front of the Tantive or something like that. Probably the Shuttle in front of the Tantive. And then, actually no, probably the Vengeance in front of the Tantive. Why is that a drain of 3? Oh, because of Cherno, right. Doesn't matter anyway. Its resistances or ultimatum is satisfied. Gogolen losing a Lando from hand and then peeling a bunch of stuff from reserve. Who's the prediction fan? Yeah, I can't imagine that Chris is actually going to let Joe get to another turn. I don't think that actually would change the. Well, actually, no, it would, because Joe can just lose a card from hand to the drain with Ray and retrieve the Yusan. So yeah, actually, suiciding Jin last turn was probably the right thing to do. I mean, you could suicide almost anybody. Could suicide the Tantive probably too. That would have been enough. Just don't draw any destinies. Just retrieve the Yusan. Don't draw any other cards. Pay your maintenance. Yeah. gonna be 14 for Joe. Probably could have been 13. So. Yeah, down by 9 in space, so that's an easy place to end the game with. No, we're just gonna draw it. That's also fine. Yeah, 14-point win for Joe with 31-9 in loss. Let's see if they're gonna jump into the other game immediately or not. I hope not, because I don't have control of the stream, so I can't take us to the other game. So we're gonna be on this game for a little bit here until Dan gets back. They are gonna take 5. Oh,
Okay.
I heard.
So we have a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Okay. If that is the case, wrong button. Okay, so if our player is going to be taking a 5-minute break, we'll be right back. And then once they're back, we'll go ahead and get ready on for game 2. Quick, you know what? Let's actually check onto this game really quick because I did see some action and everything. So, but again, Jared is holding strong against Werfs. So, Han is still frozen though, but there has been there's been some action here at the carbonate chamber. So, again, this one is currently being streamed over on Connor Britton's channel. So,
Han still being frozen sounds about right for the way that this game, that this matchup usually plays out.
100%. Okay.
Because it is the dark side Jabba's prize. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So no someone who loves you.
Yeah, you can't play. I was gonna say you can't play someone who loves you if it was the Corn Horn one because it's Corn Horn, not Han.
Yep, nobody loves that version of Han.
Nobody loves it. Okay, so we'll take a 5-minute break, wait for our players to come back, and then we'll start up game 2. Again, Joe's going to be playing the light side, and Gogolen is going to be on our dark side. So we'll see what happens. Again, Joe won that first game by 14. So we'll be back in a few minutes. And welcome back. That was a quick 5-minute break. So here we go. We are going to have Watch Your Step versus Set Your Course for Alderaan. This is going to be an interesting match. Again, Joe won game 1 by 14. We were checking up a little bit on Worfs and Jared. Looks like it's still pretty close. So.
Well, that's not a matchup I expected. We got Joe Olson on Watch Your Step. That I think is actually a pretty reasonable expectation. And then Gogolen is on Set Your Course for Alderaan. It's a deck that, at least if he's playing the one that, or a version based on the one that Kyle Kruger played at Worlds, this is a deck that I've liked a lot. So if it is the same version as what was played as what Kyle had at Worlds, then it's not a mains platform per se, because typically what it's doing is it would be playing the set 14 Maul, playing him to the war room, and then using matching ships to hold a bunch of space locations, and use Maul to manipulate destinies, and then you just have Dark Jedi Masters hold the docking bay and other sites and whatever.
Yeah, and you're pretty much right. Like, I will say Vader's going to come in pretty good in this match. Like, Vader in his custom tie is going to be insane. Oh, that's insane. First turn Maul down to the war room.
Yeah, finding Maul is often like the hardest part with this deck because there's no way to do it. You just have to like play 2 force pushes and like a 4-lom and stuff. But like, yeah, just having him in your opening hand is real good. Now, one challenge for this deck was that it was reliant on the Mustafar chain for its activation consistency. Now, that being the case, though, that's less of an issue for this deck than it is for a lot of the other Mustafar decks, because you're playing Space Vader anyway, so putting Vader and Vader's tie at Mustafar is not the worst thing in the world. And then your objective just lets you pull another 1-0, so you can actually still just play Mustafar and just be down 1 activation versus what you were running before the errata. So the interesting thing though is that does change the dynamic of like where you want to go and how you want to hold your space locations. It's a matchup with a lot of space in it. So now one of the neat aspects of the Set Your Course deck that was true even before the errata, when everyone was running 2 to 3 rescue in the Cloud V, was that it was a deck that ran a couple of close calls, because close call in combination with Maul frequently meant that your opponent couldn't crack whatever immunity you had, couldn't do really much damage to you in battles. And now that you don't even have to worry about the rescue, I think that's has a potential to make this play up a bit. So we'll see what Joe's build looks like here. I'm kind of expecting a sort of typical to what he played at World style deck, which is leaning on Master Luke, or Luke the Last Jedi, to hold the ground, and then a variety of ships in space.
Oof, that's harsh.
That's not what you wanted. Yeah.
No, not at all.
So he stacked Dash Rendar and Millennium Falcon on the sand effect, the light side sand effect. So Joe's going to need to get in some battles here in order to get much space presence. Now, of course, he does have like a Pulsar Skate, and I'm pretty sure he has a wild card. So like getting into battles is not impossible. But he's going to have to do it in order to get anything set up, which is kind of awkward. Who do you think is favored? Ooh, I mean, after the if you'd asked me before he played the sand effect,
yeah. Now it's anybody's game.
Yeah. So we know Gogolen has a Saber 1 in hand, which actually he probably feels a lot safer now to play. Joe just draws his entire force pile here.
So why is there a Antilles maneuver in the void?
Because you need to refresh your Unity client.
Oh well.
My card in the void is the Jabba's Prize V. So.
Okay. I'm sorry, everybody.
When does Tanev come down to dark side? I mean, Tanev is going to cost 10 in this matchup, so I kind of feel like that's probably not going to happen. Right? That's how Watch Your Step works?
Pretty much.
Cards with ability.
Yeah.
Cards with ability, yeah. So yeah, I kind of feel like that's... I feel like that's probably not a thing that's going to occur. Emperor to the... Yeah, the ship's more issues down. Emperor to the docking bay, that's like pretty good. Emperor is like the third best Dark Jedi Master to put there, because the deck.
Who would you say is the
absolute best one is Lord Sidious by far.
Because Darth Sidious,
and then Darth Tyrannus.
No, you got Lord Sidious, Darth Sidious, and then Lord Tyrannus.
Well, this deck doesn't. This deck's not going to play Lord Sidious and Darth Sidious, so Lord Sidious is by far better. Darth Tyrannus is I would say probably next best.
But he doesn't have full immunity, does he?
He doesn't have full immunity, but I guess Watch Your Step could potentially crack it. So, okay, in this matchup, I guess Emperor is second best. But Lord Sidious is certainly the one that you want to put to the docking bay. And then he's not going to space. He's just going to draw up. So they both have enormous hands now. They both have 17 card hands. That's exciting. I wonder what Chris is looking for here to dig with. So he did pick up Forlom. And then Chris is going to grab Control Television with something special planned for them. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Monarch or Grimtage, yeah.
Yeah, Joe has been playing it a lot.
I mean, Watch Your Step can play.
So interesting enough. I'm checking out the Worfs and Jared game.
Mm-hmm.
Now Hutta does not have the Jabba Space Cruiser was taken out by the lone Y-wing.
Was there an intruder missile or something?
I don't know, but the Jabba Space Cruiser is not on the table. The Y-wing is, and I want to say Obi-Wan Kenobi is piloting the lone Y-wing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, Lando Scoundrel was on it. Okay. That's amazing. I love this. I love this tech. This is so good. All right, so there is a Monarch Grimtosh shield, but it's more a shield against Monarch Grimtosh lost than it is against Monarch Grimtosh used.
Yeah.
The shield lets you put 2 cards from your hand in the use pile when your opponent plays Monarch or Grimtosh on you. And then it does some other stuff. So we got a loaded Pulsar Skate.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Joe.
Yeah, loaded Pulsar Skate's good. And then a Theron Net.
Yeah.
Theron Net's just going to be forfeit fodder here, because obviously there's not going to be any cloaking happening. But although, actually, no, that's not true. Canceling a weapon destiny is a big deal.
Yeah. Theron Net's probably the most important pilot he's got in the game right now.
Yeah.
In this deck, you do see the TIE cannons.
Yep.
So
when I ran it, I actually ran both TIE cannons.
Yeah.
So amusingly, you could still shoot down the Pulsar Skate here, because you can get Vader and TIE to cancel Theron Net, and then shoot them down with the other cannons.
I mean, yeah, it's immune. It has a maneuver 6 or 7, I want to say.
It has a maneuver 6, but like Saber 1 can shoot it down pretty easily, especially with Maul.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. That's a little bit of an overstatement, but it can definitely it's definitely within the realm of
That
possibility.
Maul needs an errata. He's too powerful.
I mean, he's in so many decks. We've seen him like
too powerful.
We've seen him literally ones of times during this tournament. So that's actually not true. There were a bunch of Shadow Collective decks that I'm sure had Maul in it, but so maybe up to dozens of times. Might have seen it maybe up to dozens of times.
I played my first OCS game from May last night. WAP versus.
I forgot we could do that now.
Yeah, a dark deal that ran AATs with new Maul. Yeah, against WAP. Not fun.
Maul. Yeah, half Maul is super good against WAP. Like, just disgusting.
Yeah. There's Forlom. No, it was DJ Jackson.
Derek. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like WAP. Don't play WAP. What is wrong with you?
I mean, WAP certainly has an interesting map matchup.
Yeah.
You get to ignore you can ignore Pride, because if you cancel their Destiny, then they don't get any attrition. So.
Yep.
There's, a lot of other hurdles you have to get through before that can happen, though. So.
Yeah. I like the Pulsar Skate being at Kashyyyk right now.
Yeah. I mean, the full hand there and Watch Your Step not being flipped is potentially problematic, but Joe does have a 5/4 state, so that could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we got Colonel Jendon in Onyx 2. The card I haven't seen in a long time. Hey, look, an SFS laser cannons.
Yep.
And an Onyx 2.
With another cannons.
Could be. That doesn't seem especially likely, but could be.
He's just gonna get. I want to say that's 2 Destiny right there. That's 1 Destiny with Onyx too. Yeah.
Yep. Now, I mean, the forfeit values here, or actually, no, they're not that good yet because he's not flipped.
Yeah. Now, okay. He could have moving into attack position.
Yes. I mean, given that he drew up his entire force pile on turn 1 and now still has 13 in hand and 4/4 state, I would assume he's got a moving to attack. Oh, but there's an all power to weapons. So, okay.
All I'm saying is Rut-Row Joe Olson.
I mean, there is a sand effect though, so he can just pick up the Falcon and stop the multiple destinies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is fine. And then like the destinies in this deck are pretty high, and then with Maul, it seems moderately likely that you'll be able to actually do this.
Yeah. 3 for weapon destiny, 4.
Not.
He didn't use 3, so.
He did use 3.
Did he?
Yeah, he uses 3/4 to shoot. Yeah.
Why, Joe?
Whoa!
Why would you not cancel that?
Yeah. Oh, because Maul says you can't. Maul says you can't cancel Destiny draws. Oh, wow. That was real good. Oh, my God.
Okay. Yep, he needs an errata. Right now.
Ooh, did not see that coming. Wow. And then he did it as the first action, so he doesn't even get to pull off of sand because the battle's over now. So he's got he's going to retrieve with this Walkling. Oh, actually, I think Chris miscalculated there a bit. Chris should have pulled his Coward Shield.
Yeah.
Because if he pulled his Coward Shield, that would almost be game. Like Joe would have like the wild card left, and then would have to fight the Emperor to pull Millennium Falcon out. Like, Yeah, Gogolen says he should have shielded that. Yeah. I don't know though, man. Like Pulsar Skate doesn't have a match anymore, so
No.
like he can get it into hand with all wings, but then he just has to put random pilots on it. And now he's gonna have to run from the gun the whole game. Like that was a really good play.
Jeez.
Wow.
Well,
And Gogolen has, still has known Saber 1 in hand. He could this deck would usually have Boba Fett and Slave 1 matching combo to cover the Tatooine system.
Possibly, yeah.
Because it runs double back anyway to get Forlom or double back V. So you just double back V. You can double back V to get Boba Fett, and also run short range combo to get the ship if you want, and then you can match them very easily. So he can cover the Tatooine system. He can drain 2 at Kashyyyk, and then he's just like doing 4 damage for free. And meanwhile, Joe's got like, I don't know, Luke probably to try to hold a battleground system. And that was I mean, it's mostly like that in combination with the sand effect. Like that's like just this combination of things that's on the sand, right? Because if Joe still had access to his Falcon and Outrider, I mean, he has access to the Outrider because like he can still just put random pilots.
I was gonna say he's got Lebo. Okay, Lebo's a pilot for the Outrider.
He could have Lebo.
So, how many margaritas do you think Joe is in right now?
I mean, I don't necessarily think that's like that Joe like. That's an easy bit of text for Joe to miss on the mall. So I don't think I would blame. Like, are you saying he's like drinking now that happened?
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Okay.
That may not cancel your destiny draws. All destiny draws. And there's a sense.
A sense for the all wings combo. Yep.
And it's on the 0 side, so that goes through.
So you can play sense. Wow. Yeah.
Jesus. This is just no mercy.
See, now I'm almost like wondering if Chris's decision to not, because the chat was saying that he could have gotten into a suicide battle on like the next to last of his turns, to prevent Joe from getting another retrieval, and like I don't know, when we were initially coming into this game I was like, well, that's probably not going to matter too much, but I mean, I don't know, with this maybe it will. All right, so Joe's got Obi-Wan Kenobi and Val to probably, he has to get another smuggler in order to flip.
Yeah.
There it is. Lando. Like Lando. Oh man, and Lando gets to use Pow Pull.
Yep.
So I imagine Lando is going to consolidate with Val at the Cantina. So from my recollection, from the version of this that I had played previously, it runs heavy on EPPs as your other
Mara.
I ran Mara and ship, so I had Kylo and P-59 and First Strike. So you would just, and I think I had Aura Sing also. So like you just attack them on the ground, hit them with First Strike, retrieve some, draw big destinies. So I would kind of assume that that's what we'd be looking at here. If only because there's no real space there's no real room for another kind of ground plan, because you're so committed to space. Now it is possible, of course, that he is not running Space Vader.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably
the Onyx 2 and the Onyx 1 and Onyx 2. That could. You're right. He could just be running something else with them.
I mean, if you're picking, especially also if you're picking this deck expecting Joe to be on Watch Your Step, like Space Vader and Vader's Tie is one of the like kind of reasons you would do that. So
yeah, now Joe has to keep Obi-Wan at the docking bay to stay flipped.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right, so that was a brutal turn, but Joe's certainly not out of it.
No.
He's down 27 to 29,
Yeah.
and 13 to 10 in hand.
But at the same time, he hasn't set up.
Right.
He hasn't set up his Kessel run yet, and Chris has two of the lower ships on the power curve on the table.
Yep, and it's draining for 2. And now the other thing is that the Forlom lets this deck run things like Imperial Artillery. It lets you run things like Voyeur. It lets you, do a lot of little plink damage, ping damage to.
God, there's the moving to attack position. So he might have had that in his hand, but again,
Probably. Our tractor beam.
oh
I mean,
my god.
Death Star tractor beam is like kind of a sweet way to beat the Tanov, right? Like,
yeah,
you just get into any fight there and then just tractor beam the Tanov at the end of it. Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yep, there's the Boba Fett with Slave One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just. This is rough on Joe.
And adds Grand Moff Tarkin, sure. Forlon.
Well, I will say this: Joe did say that he was not anticipating playing this weekend, so like I know he's in Cabo right now, so we'll see.
Chris is not out of shield pulls because Chris played a cold feet.
No, he played. Yeah, he played a cold feet, and he got
also the Onyx too. Also the Onyx too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is currently nothing making him. Well, okay, now there is. There was currently nothing making Joe pay for his drains, but now there's a battle order. So.
Yeah. Excuse me.
The set your course deck is like kind of emblematic a little bit of one of the things that I know like Joe particularly has talked about in terms of like balance on the balance of the game right now is that like not that the set your course deck is broken by any means, but that like the set your course deck is pretty good, and it's like the 6th best dark side deck probably, something like that. Like right, like the decks that everyone was talking about coming into the right was like Map and Hunt Down and Court and CCT. Like I don't think I heard anybody talking about Set Your Course.
It's like is one of those almost fringe decks.
Yeah.
And there goes an Imp Artillery off the top of Chris's deck. So
mildly unfortunate. Yeah, there was a one Set Your Course deck in the MPC decks. So like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think Set Your Course is necessarily bad. Like particularly as we saw, like if you get Maul, you can beat the Watch Your Step
anti-weapon call as well. So Joe's hitting some important cards from Chris's deck.
Yeah.
But again, Chris is threatening a drain of 2 and 2 next turn. Okay, there's Luke.
So now Chris does have to be wary of like a run Luke run. So like again, maybe a Fallen Portal.
If you're Chris, I wouldn't worry about this. I just go and focus on space. I mean,
Joe... Well, you do have to win. He does have to win by 15. So you can't just totally ignore and just try to drain race because like that's the other thing. The Set Your Course deck does put a fair number of cards on table. So
but now Luke with his saber is at the docking bay. You don't have to worry about Luke going down to the Emperor.
Well, Luke can't go to the Emperor. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like, if he'd gotten Lord Sidious, that would have been ideal because Lord Sidious, is very hard. Like, actually, basically impossible for Watch Your Step to crack in the current configurations. because they can't play Luke there, so they can't put a weapon there that can actually hit Lord Sidious, and then like they have to put 3 guys there in order to draw any Destiny, because Lord Sidious will just exclude one of them. So like,
and the Emperor can shock one of them with his Force Lightning.
oh, the Emperor, it's like if it's like Lord Sidious is basically impregnable, Emperor Palpatine is mostly impregnable, so like, yeah, I don't expect Joe to go to that Death Star at all.
Okay, that's gonna help Joe.
It could be worse, sure. He lost mirror access, so you can't track it. Or he can track it, but he can't. He can't do like. Yeah, he can't do the mirror pull to pull at every turn.
Okay, that saves him 2 force. That's another thing. This deck does run.
Just pulling his weapon left shield.
Yeah.
I mean that's like not unreasonable, because that is one of the ways that you could get blown out here again, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, there's a projection and another moving to attack position.
Yeah. I mean, so this does help Joe a bit here, because like he's threatening 4 damage on the ground, and the way that Chris would be able to crack it is battling, which will give him access to his Falcon.
I like this. Chris is just going to move that Death Star tractor beam.
Yeah.
With 4 long. No, I mean,
he can't grab. It could be worse, because he's grabbed all wings and control.
Yeah.
Is why he didn't grab it.
Now, again, this deck for Chris also runs Tarkin's orders. So he can cancel, if he can find his Tarkin's order, loop that with 4 long, he can cancel those drains on the ground.
So Chris went with Vader's personal shuttle with Darth Vader V, so he does have Space Vader. Okay. He went to the Endor system.
It's a drain of 2, and Merrick Steele's there.
Yeah. So no spinning at all. We have our Destiny. It's Vader V, so he subtracts 1 from each, or he subtracts 1 from a draw. Maul can subtract another 1 from a draw, so that's pretty uncrackable.
Well, no, I mean, Vader subtracts 2.
Oh yeah, Vader subtracts 2 from a draw. Sorry,
and
Vader subtracts 2. Maul subtracts 1. So
Merrick Steele, unfortunately, is not a Black Squadron TIE pilot. So yeah, it's only 2.
Sure, but I mean,
there's Voyeur.
Voyeur
could be worse.
Yep. Probably just ping loss here, right? I don't think you would actually use it lost.
Yeah. As an update, Jared won game 1 by 11. He had 19 in his lost pile. Worse had 25.
Yep, that seems in range for what you can expect. See, actually, given this context of what's happened here, I kind of feel like Chris is incentivized now to just drain race and not worry about attacking on the ground. Like,
yeah,
he's certainly winning the drain race, and
like I said, if he's got the Tarkin's orders, he's only going to be taking 2. Joe's going to be taking 6, and Joe has to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, and like, getting into battles is just something that Gogolen doesn't want to do now, because it's going to unlock Joe's Space Force and let him back into the game. Like right now, he's got like a floating Pulsar Skate and a wild card, and he's peeled a bunch of the good pilots already.
He's got the Outrider too.
Sure, he has a couple of floating ships, a couple of floating matching ships, and then like the wild card. But like that's not much, and that's just like not going to beat any of these space combinations. Like you might get through the Onyx ties with that, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like if you can drop wild card and 2 smugglers on them, and Chris has saved 7 force for his he saved 7 force for his all power to weapons.
He's got all powers weapons. He's got a barrier.
There's still a known saber 1 in hand also.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Kessel yet from Joe, but okay, there goes an Overwhelm. So Overwhelm is being played. So yep, there goes. We know he's got to have a lateral damage. There goes short range fighters from his hand. So I mean, if you're Chris, what do you fear from Joe at this point?
I
based on
mean,
this board state. Outrider with Han.
okay,
I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a barrier and then followed up with the
Saber one.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Because if it was just going to be Han, Han doesn't draw Destiny on his own.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know though. There's still a Saber one in hand,
Yeah.
and if you're running Onyx, I would kind of assume you have 2 guns.
Yeah. And he's also running the Imperial Artillery, so yeah, it makes sense for him to play 2 guns. And if that's the case, that Outrider is going to be shot down. Joe, at that point, should just go to the bar.
Yeah. I mean, so Joe's spreading here. I mean, so Joe does have the advantage of this game too, right? So he's up by 14.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's likely that Gogolen's going to win this game. But
Gogolen,
he
you said it.
may
He
not be able
needs
to
to win by
Gogolen.
15. He's sitting at 20 in his life force with an 8-card hand. So Joe still has some work to do, though.
I agree with Chris that it's definitely. Sorry. I always assume that CRG for some reason stands for Chris because there's so many Chris's. Sorry, I agree with Matt that it's the winning the matches is within range for Gogolen, but he does actually still have to change something here.
But does he?
I mean, he doesn't have to change much.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. Jared is playing, Worfs is playing Watch Your Step. No real surprise there.
Right.
The surprise is Jared is playing Endor Ops.
Okay. Endor Ops or TTO?
Endor Ops.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So full space battles all across the board.
Yeah.
So Endor. They're saying the Endor volume's really low.
Yeah, it's because so I'm not really sitting next. My microphone is at least an arm's length away from me, so I'll increase the gain a little bit. Is this better, Chris? I know you're old and you need to get a hearing aid, but is this better for you?
It's like complaining. Okay, whatever. So interestingly, right?
Like
Maul.
Joe needs something to protect against that Saber one here, or else he's done.
I mean, Maul. So Maul does turn off Luke's redraw text.
Yeah.
You can't cancel, and then with Maul adding, it's like not unreasonable that Kylo could hit Luke. Although, I mean, you have to worry about like a fallen portal. So
fallen portal, yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. Force field, maybe dodge.
Yeah, force field or dodge. So I actually kind of think that if you are Gogolen and looking to attack, I would probably actually just attack the Cantina. Because they can't dodge there. They can't. I guess.
Well, he could play the dodge to -3.
Sure, but like you're swinging at somebody with defense value 2 anyway. So what do you care? Like,
I mean, the Destiny isn't that high, and you said it. Run, Luke, run.
Right, run, Luke, run would be a problem. So you kind of like. I guess if you're going to attack on the ground, you kind of just have to attack Luke.
What I'm saying is you just ignore the ground. You don't battle here because, as you said, Chris is going to take Joe's going to take a card off his sand effect.
Yeah. If there's going to be a battle, I think it has to be just Saber 1 cannon to shoot down the Outrider. That's
and if that's the case, then what does Joe do?
He's going to be paying for drains of 5, which, I mean, he can afford to do.
He can afford to do, but then once it gets down low... Yeah, I mean, I understand like it's 5 damage, but right now,
I mean, he actually kind of like loses the Pulsar Skate.
Yep, there's another ship, and Tatooine Celebration.
I mean, isn't the Falcon's like not even that good anymore? Like the cards that are on sand are like not even that good anymore. There goes
Kessel Run. Control tunnel position. Yeah, Joe is not. He can't win this game.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Well, probably not. Probably not. Like if Outrider sticks around and he gets to drain for free, then maybe he can.
I'm not saying he can't win the match. I'm saying this game is almost impossible at this point.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to be Joe.
No. Well, I would. He's in Cabo.
Well, sure, I guess. There's a number of reasons to want to be Joe, but being in this game is not one of them.
He's in Cabo. He's won a world championship. Yeah. Okay. Or that. U3PO.
That's a way out.
Especially when I want to say, yeah, Elorus is up in space. U3PO is going to be able to stick around there the entire game.
The client. Excellent. I love it.
Oh my god, and that's more ping damage for Chris.
I have not seen this card in play yet.
I've seen it in a few like rando games, but never in like an actual important game.
I've seen it in playtesting. So, all right. The client is going to be adding a ping.
Yeah.
Because
2 pings.
1 ping.
2.
Why 2?
4 long.
Well, but he only adds 1 regardless. He doesn't add 1 for each bounty hunter. Also, 4 long's not occupying a battleground, so that wouldn't matter.
I thought it was any location, but okay.
No, it's occupied battleground. So anyway, but he adds 1 ping. That's good. And then if you lost a bounty hunter anywhere, may upload a bounty hunter. Like that's potential. I don't know. There's a lot of bounty hunters in this deck still, but
well, I mean,
certainly against Watch Your Step, the client's not going anywhere. Like
no.
Watch Your Step has like maybe 1 spy that they can play for less than like 10. So. Yeah. And that spy is not attacking this stack. That would be a disaster. So.
Yeah, no, it's. This is rough. Like.
Okay, so now we're down to.
Now we're down
to Joe doing 4 damage against 6. And that actually, I think, is a race that Gogolen can just do.
Yeah.
Like. Now, I guess the one thing here, the Death Star moves to orbit Corellia. Okay, sure. I guess we're using a force. That's fine.
The Death Star is orbiting the planet. The Death Star is orbiting the planet.
I was gonna say, like, the saving grace here, right, is that Corellia is far enough away that like nothing can actually move to there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it goes from Joe's only doing 4 points of damage now, so
I kind of assume that Chris is just trying to find the cannons. Like, okay, he is drawing past.
Yeah, he's at 15 right now.
That exactly is his win threshold, but he's got a lot of used interrupts, and he's got 4 lom. It's fine. Like him drawing past 15, past his 15 life force here is not, I think, hugely relevant. Now, of course, Joe now does have access to like be able to control tunnel vision on a drain and stuff like. So there's still some range here, and Joe did save 2 destinies. Why did we save 2 destinies? Who are we fighting? We're sorry about the mess for the 3PO, maybe. That was kind of cool. I like Val being in there.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of Val. Okay, drain 2 at the dock bay for Joe. Chris is going to lose. He loses Dengar and Punishing 1. That's a good card. Not that useful in this matchup, but still a good card.
Pullable with double back.
Yeah.
I mean, double back V is actually like really good against Watch Your Step because like EPP Dengar is also like really good against Watch Your Step. So
yeah.
And then Dengar cancels a lot of the bonus from like moving into an attack position.
Yeah. Yep, no Tarkin's Order. That's a good point.
Yeah,
there goes the Emperor.
Tarkin's Orders. I mean, Tarkin's Orders is a card that like goes in and out of the deck a little bit. Like you see it a fair bit, and probably more now than you did before the errata. Because
Yeah.
like before the errata, like you had to play an Endor system in order to be able to Tarkin's orders the drain at like the Endor, the site that Hitka played.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like there usually wasn't a planet. Oh, he does have the sorry about the mess.
Fal's going to be able to go. Yeah, she's going to target that U3PO. That's a good play.
And Val shoots at +1, right? Yeah.
Val gets +1. So.
Force field V.
Oh my god.
Force field V lost to cancel the shot.
Yep. Use 2 force to cancel.
Now I mean he's gonna have to
he could replay it on his next turn, but
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now again, here's the thing though. That's another card Gogolen lost from his hand.
Sure, but I mean it saves 2 damage.
It saved 1 point of damage if you think about it.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's the case.
Yeah. Because even if Chris lost 1 more, like even if he took the drain, it was going to be a drain of 2. He'd lose 2 cards from his hand because he can't lose from his lost pile.
Yeah, Lenny, I'm with you there. Image in the Dark Lord is also a card I would have expected to see by now.
Yeah.
I mean, he may have just not been able to find it, but he has Forlom. I don't know why he wouldn't be able to find it.
Yeah.
Now the Chewy's out, but Kessel's not, so there's no Kessel run. So he could do like first strike retrieval if he has that. But otherwise, I don't think Chris would actually have any retrieval in his deck.
No, and that's what I'm saying is like Joe just needs to draw up some cards, make sure he's got his protection from anything that Chris can throw at him in space.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris is going to go to the ground. There's no reason for him to. He's out damaging Joe.
Is it a misplay that Chris doesn't have secret plans out? I mean, I don't think so, because there's nothing that Joe's retrieving with here.
Yeah. Celebrations and a loss. We've only seen 1 Kessel run go lost. We haven't seen Kessel on the table. So there's really nothing that Chris has to worry about regarding that. I mean, I expect Chris to play it once there's a reason for him to. Okay, so now Joe moves the Outrider over to Endor. This could be bad.
So the sand effect would prevent the reduction. It would prevent the drain modifiers.
Yes. So
but he can't spin there, so you don't really want to do that.
Yeah, there's Voyeur.
What are we voyeuring?
All wings combo.
Yeah, it's just the most common card, probably.
Mm-hmm.
No cards found.
And it's just more information. It didn't go lost. He also put his card back into his deck, so he's sitting at 16.
He has and I mean he can track the voyeur every turn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so Chris did grab the all-powered weapons, so.
Yeah, so like he can draw the voyeur back, do this battle, and then like name whatever interrupt he does for Destiny or something. So, I mean, like, an imbalance combo is not unreasonable for him to be playing here, although he obviously didn't have it there, because he would have just played that instead of the force field, probably.
Yeah.
Ceasefire is possible, but not super likely.
Yeah. I think ceasefire is more possible than the imbalance combo. Actually, I think I like both of them, honestly. I mean, ceasefire protects your Emperor. He protects any of your guys at the Death Star docking bay. It cancels. Sorry about the mess. So I mean, it's a solid card in this matchup.
One of the things though with the way this deck is structured is that you often like don't even need cards that protect you from weapons at the docking bay, because it's just so hard for them to hit through close call and maul that barely matters.
Yeah. Okay. Drain of 2 Kashyyyk. Joe is down to 9 cards in his life force, but again, he's got a 11 card hand, and again, he did win game 1 by 14. So if he can get Chris under 15 in this match, Joe should be able to move on. Okay, here we go. Drain 2 Akashik. There goes Projection Skywalker. That's a fair card to lose. And another Luke.
If he actually like has a Gick, it'd be kind of a hilarious place to just use Kylo, kill Val, and then I guess there's still you could still run Luke run, so then you can still have a weapon there. I was trying to think, it's like you could just kill Val and then you.
I think he lost his Gick, so I wouldn't suicide. If anything, you could throw like Kylo down to the Jada site. Yeah, you throw him down to the Jada site.
Just to get 1 more damage? Yeah. That doesn't seem like it's worth it. I think blocking 2 of your opponent's damage is better than doing 1 more yourself here.
That's true. Okay, there goes Kessel from Joe's hand. So Joe's probably not going to retrieve any. And Menace Phase as well. So.
Oh, and we got the ping with the client.
Yep, there's the ping of the one from the client.
This is a dodge from hand. Yeah, okay.
I mean, he could play it from his lost pile, so that's not too bad.
So I believe the top card of Gogolen's deck, unless he's shuffled, should be the Voyeur.
Okay, here we go. Saber 1 coming down. Does he have the cannon?
Oh, God.
Oh!
He
does have the cannon. He has enough force to shoot down that Outrider this turn.
That's so bad. I wonder if Joe has the Antilles maneuver. Or is the card under the top one? Why would the Voyeur be the card under the top one? Because the card that's on the reason there were 4 in use last turn is because Forlon put a card on the bottom of used. So Voyeur should be the one to... I don't know, man. I suck at tracking. So could be anything. Could be a boat. I guess in this
I don't think
context,
it's a Java space cruiser.
Yes, I guess in this context, Gogolen probably hopes it's not a boat, because that would mean it's a ship of some kind, so he's going to miss this shot. But this shot, though, is actually like a big deal, because that'll take Joe out of space.
Well, I mean, he takes a card off of the sand effect.
Not if he hits the shot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Like if he hits the shot here, he won't actually even like he can kill the U3PO, but he won't really even be able to afford he won't even be able to afford the drain. So like it's not.
Yeah, he won't drain for 1 with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he just won't drain for 1 with Obi-Wan, but. But then, I mean, after that, he's taking 7 more damage, then he can't...
Okay, Chris is sitting at 16 in his life force. He's only got 2 cards in his hand. So, if Joe is able... Okay, that's going to shoot down the Outrider. Bye. So, what's going to happen is, Joe plays Asari, he drains for 4... Chris is sitting at 14. And that's game. Yeah.
So the other thing
that's not game, that's match.
Well, no. So the other thing that we can do now is Chris can land the Slave 1 at the docking bay.
And I see that's what he's going to do.
Because then we're still causing 7 damage on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, just land Slave 1.
Land the Slave 1, but the thing is, Joe has enough force to pay for two more drains, even if he lands. He has enough to drain out Chris in 2 turns. It's going to take him 2 turns, but...
because he can sorry about the mess, which will cost effectively 2 force because he has to save 1 to shoot with.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he'll have 7 left to work with, which is enough to pay for both drains, and then he loses 7 from damage. That's
okay,
not
yeah, that's not right.
that's
That's
not where
not
I
right,
landed.
Chris. That's
Well,
not
okay.
right. Okay,
Actually,
yeah, that
oh
is.
no, he has to land in there.
Yeah, he has to let him there because the fear of the.
Yeah, otherwise he gets sorry. Otherwise, Boba Fett gets sorry about the mess, and then Tarkin gets sorry about the mess. Then he
Yep,
doesn't
Sergeant
turn up.
gets sorry about the mess, and then.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, Joe's going to sorry about the mess to U3PO. So here's the situation. Joe has to drain with Luke first, do the 2 points of damage. If Chris loses from his hand, then you sorry about the mess, and you're guaranteed to hit. If he loses from deck, Chris is under, and you just say GG. Because Chris has no retrieval from what we've seen.
Did he lose a? No, he does have a retrieval because he can use something. He can use his grabber and retrieve the Dengar.
That's true.
I
mean, that does put an extra card back in Joe's life force, though.
Sure. So Joe's putting cards back in his life force too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can lose 1 and 1 also. Like if one of Gogolen's cards in hand answers sorry about the mess, then he can lose 1 and 1, and then force for what? No, sorry, just moving force, using force. That's fine. Okay.
I actually think if you're Joe, you might want to battle with Obi-Wan here. Get a card off of the sand effect because you're only getting 1 destiny. Chris is only getting 1 destiny.
Sure.
I mean, the likelihood of Obi-Wan going lost is not that big.
I don't know that I would say that. Possibly. Interesting thoughts, Snippy. So I guess we got to map that out. So it would have to actually be exactly this much, right? He would have to leave exactly 5 in reserve to do that beatdown.
Let's see. Joe activates
and then
1.
He actually wouldn't be able to. Yeah, actually, I mean, as Snippy brings it up, and now that I'm looking at the math on it, I actually kind of think Chris was supposed to land in front of Luke.
I'm watching Luke. How are you playing today, Charlie? I don't know. This is the turn.
Could have just landed in front of Luke and stayed in the ship. Yeah, it's also. I mean, that's also an option.
True.
Yeah, I think as we're looking at it and trying to math it out now, I think he actually should have left. I think he actually should have landed in front of Luke to save the damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, action is on Joe right now.
Yeah, that's so narrow, though. It's one of the bizarre things about match play, right? That's like, if this was an OCS game, then what Gogolen did, I think, is completely right. But like, given that he has to win by 15, it's like, oh, well, that changes the dynamic a lot. Like,
yeah. Again, this is why I hate match play. I do not like match play.
I mean, I'm mostly sick of match. Like, I think because we did the MPC for like what felt like a million years, Which is not
True.
to disparage it. It's mostly just like because pandemic and quarantine has felt like forever. That's like we did the MPC,
Mm-hmm.
and then we did the MPC immediately after. It's just
Okay,
like
here we go. We're in Joe's control phase. Let's see what he wants to do here.
he's left 3 in reserve, so that's got to be.
Okay, he's going to play the interrupt.
Sorry about the mess first.
Sorry about the mess. Okay, it is stacked. No response yet from Chris.
Okay, so that does get a shot through.
Yep.
I wonder.
Maybe we'll see a Tarkin's orders.
Yeah, it could be a Tarkin's order still. Lost the 3PO. Oh, so he draws. No, I guess that wouldn't be the voyeur probably, because he moved a bunch and deployed. He moved a couple times.
Okay, drain of 3.
2.
Paste. I meant pay 3, drain 2.
Oh yeah.
There goes lateral damage from and Tyrannus. Is he slow playing the Tarkin's orders here?
And remember that losing 2 here is not the end of the game.
No.
Because he still has this. He still has the something special.
Yeah. Okay, there goes Amara Jade off the top.
He kind of has to lose that last card in hand, though. Yeah.
And Lord Sidious. Okay, everybody, we're sitting at Chris Gogolen has 14 in his life force. Again, he lost last game by 14. I mean, Joe can't move or anything, so.
Yeah. Can't find the voyeur now. He can't like play first strike, so he just has to retrieve with that. I guess he can. So all right, he can do his 7 damage here, which like pretty much all has to come from Joe's hand.
So I think if you're Joe, you lose everything from your hand, and then being that Chris has no hand.
Hang on though, because if he loses everything from hand, and then he can move Onyx 2 to Tatooine, land the shuttle, move Luke in, move like Boba Fett over.
Mm-hmm.
The control's free because of the. Oh, that's bad.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I guess Joe gets to choose which effect it gets stacked on.
No.
I'm not actually sure
So that's weird because in order to play an error from loss, they must stack a card here and use 1 force. So it should have cost him 1 force.
Well, no, it got stacked on the effect.
Well, I know that, but there's a card underneath the useless gesture.
Oh, so in order to play, it seems like it should have cost I don't know.
And Joe had a control in his hand as well.
He can kill Obi. Yeah, that seems likely.
There was 2. He played 2 that turn. He canceled the drain at. I think he did.
Yeah, because I think now he can't.
Oh no, he lost. He lost from 2 from Tatooine, and he canceled the drain at Kashyyyk or Kashyyyk. So there goes. Yep.
Well, so now you can docking bay transit the Emperor over.
Yeah, why would you though?
To just make it harder for Joe to position any damage. Because if you move you can move the Emperor over, land Vader's shuttle, move a ship over to Tatooine from Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
It's very hard to play this game without losing any force. That's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't see really any outs for Chris. Because he's going to lose Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan covers. Yep.
We're gonna lose the Slave 1 because the Slave 1 will almost certainly cover also.
You know, you're losing Slave 1 and you're losing
Tarkin.
And then you land Vader and Merrick Steele to get that second Destiny.
I mean, I think you land Vader's shuttle at the docking bay, move Vader. I think so. I think you land Vader and Merrick Steele at
you
the
have
docking
to have
bay.
no. You land Merrick Steele and Vader in front of Luke.
Well, you have to block the Cantina drain. If you don't block the Cantina drain, none of this matters. So
yeah, you have to block both. That's the problem.
them. Yeah, move Maul and Forlom, sure, that and the client, and that's fine.
I mean, you can't leave Boba Fett by himself.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, and then you move Vader into the
and
Cantina.
Then you shuttle or the docking bay transit the Emperor, move Vader over, move everybody into the Death Star docking bay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Now there's a Dash Rendar in hand now, so you have to, I guess, be aware of that.
So my only problem here is you're down by 8 power. Joe's going to get 2 Destiny against Vader.
Well, no. He's either going to get 2 Destiny against Vader that are -3. Because he's going to subtract.
How are they going to be -3?
Well, he's going to subtract
no.
Subtract with, no, Vader only subtracts while piloting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So
they're going to be one of them's going to be -1.
Well, but what you need to do is just block this enough. Really, because he's gonna do 7 damage back on the next turn.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already at 14. He's probably gonna take some overflow against Vader. He's probably gonna take some overflow against Boba Fett and Merrick Steele. Matter of fact, I think Merrick Steele and Boba Fett are the ones that Joe's gonna target here.
I think it's actually not likely that he's gonna take overflow in both those battles.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So you battle Merrick Steele. He's only 4/5. So you swing at. Yeah, that's game. Well, that's game.
That'll probably do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's game. Yeah, good run by Chris Gogolen, though. I'm going to say this. Hell of a game by Joe. Like, after we saw him lose the shuttle early and have 2 important cards stacked on his sand effect, like, insane game by Joe. Yep. Well, there goes all three of those controls back into Joe's deck.
Yep.
And yeah, Gogolen puts Slave 1 back into his deck. So, yeah. Destiny of 3 becomes 3, so down by 5. Oof.
Yeah, not much else to say about that, though.
No. Okay, so being that this game is over, I'm going to raid you guys over to the Jared and Werf's game. So you can go watch on that game. That game is pretty interesting as well. Again, it's an Endor Ops versus Watch Your Step game. I believe, yeah, it looks like both players are on their 7 side. Jared won game 1 by 11. So, pretty good game by Jared. It's going to be, this one I think is going to be a close match. Like, but we'll see what happens in that one. Again, once we should get a concede here from Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else you can do, right? Like, I'm not missing anything.
No.
It seemed like it came down a lot to just not finding the second gun. Like, if he, because we knew he had the Saber 1. If he found the second gun, he could have just shot down the Outrider immediately, and then would have saved himself. I don't actually know if he would have saved himself that much damage, because Joe could just pay for the drains. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it did look like he just didn't have. I guess like not finding a Darth Tyrannus is a thing. Not find like.
Yeah.
Darth Tyrannus can stand in front of Luke pretty reasonably. Like.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of high destiny in this Watcher Step deck.
Yeah, but Tyrannus can redraw 1. So like, and Maul makes it draw -1.
Mm-hmm.
So like you have to hit.
That's true.
Like, you have to hit like 3 in a row where none of them are, or only at most one of them are 4 or lower, right? Because otherwise you're gonna miss.
Yeah.
And then like against Luke, he's immune less than 8, so you're not gonna crack that unless you have a bunch of smugglers with them. So. Yeah, I mean, as predicted, right? Like, Gogolen was gonna win this game certainly, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the match was just a little too far out of reach. That game 1 matchup was just not just too bad for Gogolen, I think.
Yeah.
The Blizzard 2 was kind of a surprise though. Like getting trampled there was.
That was killer.
That was disaster. And I guess actually, if we're thinking about it, it's like his destinies in that battle not being good enough.
Yeah.
Right, because he did check the 4 and then activated the other 4 so that because if they were good enough, right, he could just battle with Solo and Chewie, play his C around kids so they can't be canceled, and then like shoot down somebody, kill somebody else with attrition, get sand affected, and then like, right, that's like. That's kind of it was a little bit of a combination of things there, but
yeah, and like I said, I think if you're Joe, you can just draw up here.
Yeah. No real incentive to do anything else.
No.
And Gogolen plays like the dark side virtual harvest and retrieves like 7 for us. Like, I don't know. That it would require something like that. So I think we're pretty well set here.
Yeah.
Chris's deck is super sweet though. Like the.
Oh no, yeah, I love that he played this deck. I was actually surprised that he played this deck.
The Death Star 2 tracking the Death Star 2 tractor beam is super awesome.
Right. So I love this. In our top 4 match, we have a Death Star 2 tracking beam, and we have a lone Y-wing and a Prophet deck.
Yep. And he won that game. The lone Y-wing won that game.
Yeah.
Oh my
congratulations to Joe on being our first finalist. We are still waiting on the second game of the Chris Werfs versus Jared Napolitano game. So Joe will move on. Yeah, you're 100% correct. That tractor beam could have been a Tarkin's order, and that would have.
I mean, he wouldn't have been able to find it the same way. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah. I mean, the tractor beam was unfortunately not a good call in that matchup because that was just never gonna be relevant there. But I wonder where we're at in this other game.
Well, I'm gonna raid you guys over to that game really quick, and then once that game is complete, and we'll have our finals. I'm not sure. Are you gonna be sticking around for the finals, Justin, or no?
No, I'm gonna be heading out. But thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us, and then like I said, we'll be back later. So, yeah, Chris won, but not enough though. So we'll be back for the finals here momentarily. Until then, see everybody later.